Hello, Aries. Great to see all of you. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to take a look at your monthly forecast. This is going to take you into the next 4 to 6 weeks, helping you see challenges and opportunities. As I started to meditate on your sign, I got the following mediumship messages. First and foremost, I was shown an image of a crocus pushing through the snow. And to me, this is one of the ultimate symbols of strength and hope, and sometimes even the energy around being first. So let's talk about the strength piece. This is a very hardy spring bulb, often one of the first that you see coming through the snow. And so that feeling of needing to break out or push through something definitely comes through. I can almost kind of get a physical, visceral sense of wanting to kind of break free. Whether this is breaking free from feeling stuck, or a job or a relationship, there's something that wants to become unshackled or untethered. And I like that energy of liberation. First, so like I said, this is one of the first things that will pop through the snow in the springtime, sometimes even in the winter before it's spring. And so you have a potential, an opportunity right now to get ahead of things, to be the first. But like the lonely crocus, it may feel like, where's everyone else? What I like to look at in those situations is, it's really a chance to be a leader. And leading the charge sometimes means being okay with the fact that it's not the popular thing, but it's the right thing. And the final piece that I get from this, and it's my favorite, is that it's a sign of hope. So sometimes when we are in the throes of winter, or a sort of symbolic winter, when things just seem to not be moving the way we want to, that little flower coming through the snow is hope. If we pull it all together into one takeaway, this is a month where your strength is going to help you break through some sort of a challenge, whether it's something that you've been thinking about and it's kind of been like a mental block, or there's actually something around you where it's been holding you back. We see a breakthrough that is coming forth. There's a sense of being able to be the first one to do this, maybe even breaking an ancestral or karmic energy in your family, and feeling a sense of hope, of optimism. And hope is such a powerful tool. If you have hope, you can get through almost anything. And as we look at this reading today, I really want to find the things that can help you feel hopeful and help you find that inner strength. Let's get started. All right, as I'm getting everything set up here, we have Apollo in the background, holding some space, looking rather adorable. Let's begin with the reading. All right, take a moment, if you will, close your eyes, and just let everything go. Whatever it is that you're holding on to, we need to separate that so that the guides, the angels, and your higher self can come through. Let's create that circle of light and invite in all of that higher guidance that I just mentioned, and also create an intention that you are safe, that you are connected, and that you're ready and willing to receive the information from all of the angel spirit guides and ascended masters. All right. Good to see all of you, by the way. I hope you're doing well. By the way, I'll be doing this sign first next time. So I appreciate the patience. We're also going to just pull the Celtic Cross first, and then I'll expand it later. I'm starting to experiment with new ways to organize all this. Interesting. Let's get started with the catalyst. So the masked one came through. This reminds me of like the devil energy in a traditional tarot card, and the desire to want to break free or unshackle is analogous to that. So I feel like you're seeing beyond the mask. This could be someone in your life that tried to present themselves as being one way, but you see the other side and it's like, actually, not so much. There could be a contract in front of you where you're looking at the fine print and realizing it's not all that it was sort of written out to be, and you're starting to see beyond the mask. This is an encouragement from Spirit as well to be like the antithesis or opposite of this, which would be transparent in the best way, like clear in your communication, clear in your motives, being authentic, leading with a sort of just and fair and honest approach. There's no time for wearing masks in this moment in time. It's not Halloween. So that's the main thing here. But if you get an inkling that there's more to the story, that you need to take a little bit more time or dig a little bit more deeply, the masked one is coming through saying, take the time, it's worth it, and trust your instincts. All right, let's take a moment here and just see how everything looks for the month ahead. Okay, I'm loving this. This also, by the way, is how to fix this. The star card in tarot represents being your authentic self. And oftentimes there are people who wish that you would just kind of mute the light or put the mask back on. So you're already headed in the right direction. Loving the Wheel of Fortune, loving the world, loving the Empress energy, looking at also this really strong Hierophant. This is a power month, a powerful month for you. Everything in the center is amazing. I think for many of you, what I was seeing with that crocus coming through, the hard work has paid off. And it's been worth the wait, not just for this reading, but for this moment in time, okay? Let's get into your center card, Aries. We have the Empress kicking things off. This is a moment where, first of all, you have the power to make it happen. You have the strength. I saw it in the crocus imagery. But you also want to take care of yourself. The Empress tends to be the universal mother and caretaker for everyone else around her. Rarely does she do it for herself. And in this moment in time in particular, in order to be able to really embrace all this cool energy that I'm seeing in front of me, it's going to be important for you to put down some roots, ground yourself, and feel supported. That means eating well, sleeping enough so that your body can repair itself, surrounding yourself with the best kind of people that will support you and kind of applaud the work that you're doing. If there's anything in your life where it feels antithetical to that, if there's someone that comes through as inauthentic or just simply they're not happy for the sort of upward tick that I'm seeing here, then this is a moment to hit the brakes and cut the cords with that masked one. By the way, if we look at the traditional illustration here, it's also about releasing something into the world because this is birthing and creation. And we have basically the way to do it here. It's all spelled out. Many of you have done a lot of work and research, and in this moment in time, it's a chance to speak up and show that you are an active listener and observer. The owl represents wisdom and experience, both in this lifetime and in previous, so many of you just have good instincts. But beyond that, I actually feel like some of you might have been like a wallflower, watching things from afar. Now, there's a spotlight that wants to shine, the star. I want you to be ready for that, because we have the World card above it and the Wheel of Fortune next to it, so expansion, recognition, opportunity. Here's the way that you can make it happen. First of all, if you have a great idea, speak up. Let people know. But let them know from a way or from a perspective that shows that you respect them too. Hey, I paid attention when you said this or when this happened. It seems like you are really interested in this and this and this based on, and spell it all out. And then say, isn't that right? Make sure that you've got your assumption right. Once you've checked the assumption and you are both on the same page, you can say, well, the good news is I have an idea that can address this concern and possibly even help you with this and this. Show that you've done your homework. Also, simply show that you care. I really appreciate what you're doing here. You could ask a question with this and say, what can I do to help you do this or whatever? So in partnership, you have the potential to really be convincing, appealing as well, and persuasive. Now, in your own life, let's just say you want to launch something, you want to create a change, you want to do something. I'm getting just this great potential for you to, it's kind of like marketing or sales, but you can win people over just with your communication. This is not at the top of the communication chain. It's not about perfect words. It's about effective communication. Big words doesn't mean that you're smarter. Talking longer doesn't mean that you're informing people more. But saying the right thing at the right time in the right tone is what it is. So we're at the very beginning in the sort of like hierarchy, because it goes page, knight, queen, king. So you have the queen energy because of this, but you may not feel confident in your presentation skills. Doesn't matter. The way that you communicate, that's what matters. People are connecting and thinking, yes, you get me. Yes, this is right. So don't worry about being perfect. Be authentic, be timely, and show that you've listened. If you do that, it's kind of like your key to success. And success in any way, shape, or form. But especially for those of you that might be working or trying to create something, you've got all of the pieces of the puzzle here. All right, as we look at the deep past, we have the Hierophant. This is a very cool version of it because typically we have the Pope in the center and 2 disciples on either side, 2 keys at the center. This is like one of the disciples that just decided to take the key and go beyond the gatekeeper. So for some of you, it's an entrepreneurial spirit. You looked at the old way of doing it and you thought to yourself, I think there's another path. I don't think I have to be a part of this. I could just do it on my own. Love that. I think this is the right time based on everything else that we see in this spread. You may also want to go deeper in a spiritual or mystical path. So you're learning more about yourself, you're learning more about the world, and you may be able to take these skills and help other people get excited about something. So creativity, mysticism, esoteric information, religious experiences, you're going deeper. You're using some of that awakening then to help other people wake up too. The main thing here as I'm looking at it is how can you take the best of the old and bring in something new? Because this isn't your typical Hierophant. In music, it's like when there's a reference to a previous decade. Having grown up with a lot of the music from the 80s and 90s, you still hear a lot of those references now in today's music. Even before that, like I heard what my parents played from the previous decade, so you hear classic rock still being referenced, new wave, and grunge and all this stuff still finds its way into modern music. So reference something that was effective, but then bring your best voice and vision through just like a singer would. Same thing happens in literature. Everything is referenced. Everything is built on something else. But as long as you bring a perspective that's unique, that's when people get excited. So we have the Wheel of Fortune coming through, representing interest in what you have to say. You might have a new job opportunity. You might be thinking of changing path or direction, and it's good. Your instincts are good here. So it can happen at any point, by the way. This could be just as you're going to school. This can be mid-career. This can be at retirement. It can be anywhere along that spectrum. So I see a pivot. I see things moving, and I see new resources and opportunities knocking. The only question is, are you ready? And also, are you strong enough to push back on someone who tries to direct, produce, or convince you to not follow your instincts? This happens all the time. A boss, a producer, a friend, someone comes in and it's almost like some of them could be gaslighting, but some of them are just trying to make their own imprint on it. And this is your moment for your voice to be heard and your vision to be shared. So make sure that someone else doesn't water it down. Make sure that they don't push you in a path that doesn't feel right. This is why the Empress is at the center. She owns this creatively, energetically, and karmically, okay? So the voice needs a little bit of work here in speaking up more, but gosh, I love everything else. So if I can help you with one thing so far, it's just in building confidence in speaking up, because you definitely have the potential. This can represent a very strict or conservative upbringing. So some of you may have had parents, or even maybe you grew up in a school or environment where you weren't allowed to speak up, but you learned so much by watching that now you can speak up as an adult. And this is a month when I really want you to get comfortable, confident, and curious when it comes to money and career and opportunities. The Wheel of Fortune doesn't come through in every reading. I don't even know. There weren't that many this month that it came through. For you, it's saying it's a moment for you literally here to step into the spotlight and shine if you're ready. The world is your oyster, Aries. The world is in the crowning position, representing where your head and thoughts and sort of like energy is at. The world is expansive. The masked one is not. This is like putting a shade or a screen over this energy of expansion, pumping the brakes. So we want you to look in this moment at all that the world has to offer. You can go in a different direction. You can create something that never existed. This is a time for some of you to travel, to move into or out of something, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a living experience, or many of those at once, because they're not mutually exclusive. When it comes to business, it's a chance for things to move in a really good direction. And many of you may be thinking, Nicholas, but the world, literally, because I'm looking at it, the world is so uncertain right now. Well, that's exactly when we need a voice and a vision and an idea like you might be having or projecting or sitting on. And so now is the time to take that and really kind of go wider with it. So think bigger, explore more options and opportunities, and see what the world has to offer. But that may involve for some of you one of the snags right now, which is, but I want to stay put, or I don't know. I'm encouraging you just to entertain the thought that going bigger or exploring something new or going out of your comfort zone could be advantageous. You and you alone get to decide what's best for you. I'm just here opening up a map and showing you what's possible. All right, this is probably one of my favorite cards in the major arcana because it represents, you know, how we, at the beginning of every reading, connect to source and guides and spirit. This is what the star is. You are connected. And I'll pull a more traditional one in a moment, but I like that this one is just showing the star, reaching for your star, your North Star, and reaching for the stars in general. I was talking with a friend. We exchanged voice memos because there's like time differences, but I said, he's doing something brave in his life. I said, you're never going to regret trying this. At the end of your days, when you're in soul review, you'll look back and say, I gave it a shot. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. You're already winning because you're trying. And maybe that's something that you can sit with for a second. Success isn't about winning a gold star or being the first or being the brightest or being well known. It's about doing what you came to the planet to learn in the first place. So for many of you, it might just be finding your voice, right? Reclaiming your power. Doing something to make the world a better place. Maybe even learning how to create wealth and abundance for yourself, because maybe there was an ancestral or familial issue with it, but it changes with you. That's what I'm getting here. This is your moment to change things up and to create your own sort of future, your own sort of vision. So I really want you to get excited about that potential if you choose to be. If we look at a card that's more based on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, we get the two different cups or chalices that the star balances out on some levels. Much like temperance, there has to be the ability for give and take, ebb and flow. So this kind of goes back to the traditional take care of yourself message that I had with the Empress card. You can't be solely like powering everybody else. The reason that the star works is she is almost like an elevated version of the magician. As above, so below. Things flow through the magician. She's allowing ideas and insight to also flow through her. And in doing so, she doesn't have to give her energy so much. She's just taking the insight, using the skills that she has, and putting it out into the world. It's less exhausting. Tap into your source energy, which is spirit. Don't worry about other people trying to repeat what your friend is doing or even what your mentor is doing. You are your own light. This is what happens when you go through the hermit phase. You learn to find the light within. So be your own light. Don't give away so much that it exhausts you. Learn to channel from spirit, from source. And part of that is about being authentic. Because when you're authentic, things just come through naturally. This is a very creative month for many of you. And if you basically channel and connect with that creativity, that's when really great things can happen. All right, let's look at you. you're looking pretty good. We have the Knight of Cups coming forth, and this is about moving closer to something that you're passionate about. You may be prioritizing relationships. There could be a Knight of Cups that's approaching you. You could also, the interesting thing with like an ace card and a knight card, I kind of look at them in two ways. Aces, someone could be giving you something, you could be reaching for something, you could just be open to it. The knights do the same thing. They could be chasing something, they could be receiving something, they could be presenting something. So what are you trying to do? Be very intentional about that sort of purpose. And what we have with this is the cup. So it can be a dream coming true, it can be your heart being fulfilled, this creative energy. But at the end of the day, you have to feel it. If you feel it, the minute you deliver it, people will be really, really receptive. Don't do it until you believe it. Don't have the conversation until you're certain. Don't put it out into the world until you're ready. And don't do something if it doesn't align with your heart. Really tune into your heart space. If you're looking for love or if you're looking for an opportunity, it's all there in the periphery, but you have to, it's like that old Madonna song, wasn't it? Open your heart to me. But you basically hold the lock and the key here. You just have to decide when to open it up, right? So it's all in your hands. Once you've made your mind up, I'm talking about the heart, but the head is also part of this. But once you've made your mind up, it's not just one door that opens. It's like a series of doors and opportunities for you. But you have to be the one that decides. So are you ready? That's a question you'll have to answer. All right, we have 6 of Swords here. Interestingly enough, there's this beautiful rainbow at the top, representing for many of you this bridge over troubled water. There's been challenges, there's been setbacks, but things are about to break in a positive way. Like I said, a breakthrough. You're breaking free. But here's the very interesting thing. Where's the ship? Where's the person driving the ship? We just have the swords. We don't have movement. If we look at the traditional illustration, we actually have someone with the oar slowly moving forward. This isn't an airplane. This isn't a power or motorboat. It's just someone slowly moving through and moving forward. It can happen as quickly as you want, but one step at a time, one row at a time is fine. The universe just wants to see some action. Today, on the day that you listen to and watch this reading, think about what your next step is going to be. Make sure that tomorrow you take that step. You have some time tonight to think about it. It could be calling someone, emailing someone, researching, or you just decide, like you map it out. You could be creating a blueprint or an action list. Somehow bring it from the head and put it into the world. Writing counts, but I also then want you to do something that takes it from the plan to execution, because this is very much execution. You can sit in your car all day, but until you turn the key, nothing's happening. So are you ready to turn the key? Things are about to get brighter and better, but I feel like some of you are waiting here for someone else to come and pick you up. Life is not an Uber, folks. You're the driver, okay? In hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have the Temperance Angel, or in this case, I guess a stork of some sort. But it's about being patient, getting really strategic about what's next, and continuing to weigh things from one place to another. So I'm going to show you in the same card family here, the 2 different cards here for Temperance and the Star. Notice how they've put the emphasis on the cups, on the chalices. I think many of you have put other people first. And I think in this moment, it's really about making sure that you're in the mix. And both of these cards are showing a very similar energy. How do I feel? How does this flow through me? Is this feeding me? Is this weighing me down? Temperance is traditionally angelic. I'll find the traditional one while we're talking. And it's one of the few angelic cards in the major arcana. So it's saying, trust in your inner guidance right now. This is where you can avoid the masked one. Because there could be someone in your periphery that just doesn't have the same connection to source or spirit that you do. Slow and steady, one step at a time. There we have the cups again. And behind you is the path. You'll get there. You're already one step towards it. But in this moment in time, just be gentle with yourself. And you may have gotten really amped up because I've kind of been your hype person today with all the cards. But I want you also to just know that there's no rush. Like, do it when you're ready, like I was talking about with this Knight card. Once everything is in alignment, I do think things will move pretty quickly. So there's no rush and there's no deadline. I would much rather you be present, grounded, like we saw with the tree version of the Empress here. And when you're super grounded, everything is going to be all right. No storm is going to uproot you. Nothing is going to be beyond your capacity. Okay? Take some time right now, today, tomorrow, to meditate, again, self-care, and to tune in. All right, let's take a look at your outcome card. We have the Hermit, beautifully connected to the Star. So the Hermit is about finding the light. The Star is about stepping into the spotlight. This Hermit shows that some of you are still not completely ready to show your light because there may be fear, anxiety, or uncertainty around what people think, how they might perceive you. But because of the wisdom that came forth with the Page of Swords, I feel like it's okay. It's just a confidence thing. This is your moment to shine. Hermit and Hierophant energy, very compatible. This is someone who is traditional, who is really experienced in knowledge. This is someone who's a little bit shy, really experienced in knowledge. We need to get some of that insight into the world at large. So I think a big part of this is just about speaking up and making sure that in the moment that you receive the insight or the inclination to do something, that there's follow through. Here's the traditional illustration. And again, the Hermit came through reverse for you. So there's an encouragement also in this moment to not spend too much time overthinking, because there is a point where you can actually get too lost in the data, in your thoughts, and it's time to come out and see the world as it is. So if you think, maybe I need to spend some more time perfecting this or whatever, no, it's time to step into the light. This is one of the hesitations this month. This is one of the hesitations. So there's action that's needed, a little bit of confidence with voice, stepping out of this Hermit phase and into the Star. Most of the cards are very positive, but we did have a couple of challenges, only one reversal, which is amazing. So I'm feeling very heartened and optimistic about what this month might have in store for you. All right, we're going to expand this a little bit deeper and look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. I'm going to shuffle the cards now, and then we'll get into them. All right, so one for health, one for wealth, one for love, and then finally, destiny. We'll start off with your health message first, which is your mind, body, and spirit. We have a lot of energy around relationships. So it's really appropriate that you came through in a receptive way with the Knight of Cups here. And this is a chance to lean on someone else for support. And as we were looking at both Temperance and the Star, we also have 2 cups. So the power of friendship and love and mentorship shouldn't be underestimated. It can help you cope, because that's really what I would expect in a health reading, is emotional stability, safety, friendship, all the stuff that I said you're emanating because you have Empress here. So if you're ready to welcome in someone else, this is the perfect time to do so. And I do see like attracting like here, because like I said, these are 2 very compatible cards. All right, let's take a moment and specifically look at this through the lens of health. I think this is one of the more powerful ones, catalyst energy. So if there's something that you know you shouldn't do, this is like Devil, 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords energy, or the Moon. You got to pay attention to that and be honest with yourself, be honest with your doctor, just make the necessary change. Typically, we know what we shouldn't do, but we sometimes tell ourselves a little white lie that it's not going to matter, or I'll make the change tomorrow. Make the change today. Take the first step now. That's what we saw here. in action in general. This is in the environment, by the way. So there could be some stagnation where it might be time to move things around in the house, clean and dust everything. It can help with allergies. You may be feeling like I'm stuck. And we'll talk more about this in career, but in any aspect of your life, wherever that stagnation is, now it's time to move beyond it. Travel and movement come through really strong. It could help your health. So get moving. It doesn't have to be, like jogging or whatever. It could just be one step at a time, which if we look at the traditional temperance card is key. Some of you are spending too much time in the home or in one situation, and temperance is like, get out there, breathe, explore the world, one step at a time. Most of the other cards are okay, actually. So I do feel like it's time to just even clear the air. So move things around the house, get some fresh air, get out into the world, mix and mingle. You might have a chance to meet someone. We'll be looking at that 2 cards from now, but it does feel like relationship energy wants to come through as well. And I'm not going to look for something if I'm not seeing it. It's just about making the necessary change. So that's it for health. Let's move on to wealth, resources, life purpose, and career. So this one made me very happy. Synchronicity, thank you, angels. I trust in your will, timed guidance and signs. It's reversed, so you might be changing up the way you've done something, but the change brings about the synchronicity. So we have like divine masculine and feminine and the yin and yang. So maybe you're taking more of an authoritative role. Maybe you're stepping back a little bit and receiving a little more. Whatever it is that you're changing up, the change is what's going to create more abundance. All right, let's break this down into 5 categories, beginning with those that are currently employed. Again, going back to the catalyst. Make sure that things are in writing. I've been seeing this time and again this month. There could be someone around you that just isn't going to come through with the promise. That's why the Daughter of Swords is coming through like a pen. She's like, let's get this in writing. Let's make sure we're on the same page. Once you do that and you have a contract to back you up, you're good to go. But you are the one that's going to turn the key, start the conversation, get things moving, protect your ideas and your assets, and then that's going to create the movement. You have to be active in this and protect what matters most. There's someone or something that wants to block it, but there's so many powerful cards, you're going to see that from like a mile away. You have a chance to level up, like in a game. The only challenge, again, is this. Get it in writing and make sure that it's baked into your career plan, whatever that's called at the place that you work. You're a rising star this month, but there could be limits on how far you can go. So see what you want, see if you can still get it there. If not, it's a really great time to look around with the World card here. There may be more travel that's on your plate than usual, or you may be having some experiences where like you're having to juggle with time zones. I just feel like you're set up for success. Even for those of you that might get a pink slip or might have just ended a job or whatever, or project, it feels like you can land on your feet this month. So this is a really solid month for people that are working. Remember the importance of speaking up, making sure that people know that you've heard them, using that active listening skill to be more persuasive. Very solid for those that are currently working. If you are an entrepreneur, go bigger. There's a little bit of hesitation. You know what you want to do. I feel like the world is ready for it. I even see some resources, but there's communication that might be lacking and action that might be lacking. I mean, this is kind of true of everyone, but it's coming through loudest in entrepreneurs. Also, you could do more with marketing. We don't want a hermit card, and the hermit reverse is giving you a nudge to say, either step more front and center so that you're the face and the name and the voice associated with the brand, or you're just doing more to market and communicate with customers, clients, etc. The biggest challenge, nothing's moving. I mean, in today's world, this kind of makes sense because for some people, you might be waiting on a ship to deliver something because there's been so much going on with, taxes and the supply chain disruption. So it could be that. But in the meantime, there's a lot of other things that you can move and do and get creative in that respect. Emotions could block you. I'm looking at temperance and I'm looking at how the tears are going into the flame. So I want you to be inspired by your emotions, but not beholden to them. So a little bit of self-care when it comes to making a step, the next step. Make sure that it's not when you're overly emotional. You want to be in a nice neutral space when that happens, when you make that next step. All right, job seekers, can you find something? Yeah, I actually do feel like you can. The World card encouraging you, of course, to think bigger as well as the Star. It should be a level up. It could be in a different location than you would normally look. You definitely want to look at the bottom line and make sure you're getting what you deserve. It could take longer than you want for someone to answer you. I'm just looking at all the swords on the ground. There's no one in the card. So you might have to bypass this. Whoever the gatekeeper is, you're going to have to take that key, it is the key and try another door, another lock, because no one's here. And this is true for everybody this month. You have to try different approaches. If one doesn't work, try something else. And if you get no answer here, try another path. So if a door is closed, something else will open up, and you don't want to keep trying the same closed door. That's when you look in a different location. That's when you think bigger. That's maybe when you get entrepreneurial as well. I do think you can find something, but the delay is the main thing that I'm getting here, okay? So be patient, or look elsewhere and see where the energy is open, because there might be an upgrade. I do believe that the universe rejects us when we're not ready or when there's something that's better. And so that rejection is protection. Students, you're actually looking pretty darn good this month. You may be looking at either studying abroad, you might be getting an international internship, you might be ready to graduate. Movement is the main thing that I'm seeing here. The Hermit in reverse is really interesting because there may be a part of you that's uncertain, shy, or not prepared. Talk to someone that has been through this. This is a really good time for mentorship. But of all the different student reads that I've done this month, there's actually not that much that I need to highlight here, other than, some of you might be in a very conservative program or school, and it does feel like for many of you, you have bigger ideas. And I know when I was looking for my grad degree, I had to look all over the place because there weren't a lot of new media degrees at the time. So I picked like one of 4 or 5 colleges that actually had one that specialized in technology. This was a long time ago, but back at the late 90s, 2000s. So now they're everywhere. But if you have something that's kind of niche, either develop it with the dean or find one of those programs like I did where they're on that bleeding edge, okay? Retirees, seeing the world is coming through here. Whether it's your own neck of the woods or you're going and traveling abroad, yes. I actually like that we have the Wheel of Fortune here. It feels like some of you either have enough or you know what your budget is. Stick to that budget. Definitely some spiritual development. Hierophant, Star, and the Hermit, they're all deep spiritual cards. So this is a great time if you're looking for connections, friends, or purpose to do a little bit more with your creative side, with whatever spirituality means for you, and doing things that represent what your heart desires. Okay? Let's move on to love and relationships. We have something that's really powerful, and I think we all need to do before we get into anything new. Clear your karma. So familial karma for many of you, I think, is coming through. And some of it could just be this need to kind of like measure up to all of these expectations. I had to take a deep breath because what I'm getting here for some of you is there was an expectation for you to fix what they did wrong. And you're not vicariously doing that for them. That's their stuff. So whatever mom, dad, sister, brother, grandparent, whatever, whoever in your life dumped the karma on you from their past lives, that's their problem. You get to fix your own. So really stay accountable to that. And again, I think the main thing here as I'm looking at this is, particularly for mom and dad, it's okay to speak up. I feel like there was a clamping down on the voice. And in this moment in time, I'd really love for your voice to be heard, okay? Let's take this into more traditional categories. We're going to look at those of you in a current relationship. Honesty is everything. When you keep something from your partner, when they keep something from you, it kind of just becomes its own thing. and it starts to take away from the beauty in the spread. So clear and honest and open communication. So I'm getting channeled messages as I'm looking at this. There's one party here. It doesn't necessarily have to be your partner. It could actually be like a mother figure, like an aunt or a mother-in-law, even your mom. But there is this energy of, I told you so. Please, please, please don't say that. And if there is someone in your life that tends to say, I told you so to you, it enters into that energy of, it's maternal. And it's good to be nurturing, but when you're looking at the person that you're married to or in a relationship with, you don't want them to be your parent. So I get something around that. And whoever the parent figure is or whoever is saying that needs to exit. No one's perfect, and no one wants to hear, I told you so. There could be a really big change happening for the two of you right now, finance or something bigger too. There could be a new baby coming in, change of location, change of fortune, change in your health, something big. This is the time to be there for each other and be there in the way that we saw in these two cards, which is listening, supporting, allowing things to just kind of flow, not controlling. Notice how both of these energies in Star and Temperance, they're just kind of feeling it out, listening. The best listeners don't try to tell you what to do. What do you think? How can I help you? How does that make you feel? And being present and then showing, if they do ask for your advice, let them know that you saw and heard them. I hear that you're going through this. It feels like you might be experiencing this. Here's some things that might be worth exploring. Do you want help in that? Never tell them what to do. Guide them. Guide them onto a path and then say, what do you need from me? And then you can kind of show up the way that they need you to, okay? Just a little bit of advice on that one. That can get you out of the teacher or parent or boss mode, and we don't want that in the relationship. Moving up, moving on. It feels like for many of you, it's decision time. So if you've been partnered for a long time, but there's no ring on the finger, there's no commitment, this is the time to talk about long-term goals. Some of you may be also looking at expanding the family right now. I see success in that if you're looking to do that. Just give it time, okay? And give it space. But I think it's important to have the initial conversation because the other person might be waiting for you to start that, okay? It's manageable. We don't have a lot of challenges except for keeping a secret. Moving onward to single and looking. Can you find someone? Absolutely. We have the Star card. You may have to initiate the conversation. They're waiting for you to speak up. There could be, let's look at the different energies that we're getting here. There could be an Aquarius coming through. I'm getting a double hit on that. Air sign, possibly Aquarius. Interestingly, there is some traditional values that are coming forth, and maybe there's a challenge of that between one and the other. So I get one person that's pretty conservative, one that's kind of outspoken. Definitely one person that waits for the other person to talk more. And so we need to balance out sort of like who's taking the lead, who's talking. You don't want to necessarily step into that boss mode. So the karma here between the two of you, it's actually parental, interestingly enough, parent and child. So we want to get you on the level. And these two cards are very much on the level. Give and take. It's give and take. So have you ever tried to decide what you're going to eat for dinner, where you're going to go to see a movie, whatever it is, and there's someone who never will offer whatever you want? I don't know. That's not a lot of fun unless you enjoy being in the boss mode. It's nice to have a point of view or have a few things to select from and maybe have a little conversation, say, all right, let's do that. Because you feel like at least you know what they want and there's been a conversation. So ebb and flow, give and take. Make sure you're paying attention to that if you're single and looking. Definitely there could be past life karma with the Star. This is the kind of energy where your heart skips a beat. The challenge right now, by the way, there's also water coming through. Plenty of options here. The way you know that it's the one is an indelible chemical reaction. You feel the spark. But the challenge is this person could be geographically further away. So you'll be having to manage with a spatial distance thing this month, and you have to decide if that's okay and if that's enough for you, okay? Let's move on to single and happy. If you're single and happy, the sky is the limit, the world is the limit. We have the potential to expand in your career. Some of you might move. You can move unencumbered because there's no one around you. You could be launching a really major project and doing so successfully. And you may just decide to like really go into this personal and financial development mode. But travel is a big part of this moment in time, and I would lean into that. You are probably going to meet some new friends and colleagues, possibly even someone that you might have a relationship in the future with, even if you're not looking for it. This is a fantastic month for you. Even if you're shy, even if you're uncertain, all the cards are pointing towards movement. Okay, let's take a look at Destiny, and then I have a couple of special cards after that. All right, for Destiny, we have Enchanted Fern Grotto. That's a lot of words and some weird ones at that. Okay, it says refuge. So this could just be a need to get away and find a place where you can just be. Vacation time. Also, if you're really busy, making time, carving out time in each day, whether it's taking some time to walk the dog and you do it without your phone or without anyone else, taking some time in the shower, or legitimately making room for exercise and meditation. That is going to charge your battery, provide such great insight, and really bring you in a trajectory that is sustainable. If you don't recharge, you're gonna immediately go to empty. It's like your phone. If you leave on 10%, you're gonna be done in an hour. So it's time to make sure that you're planning ahead. All right, we have two cards that we're gonna look at. One is what you need to know. The cool thing about this is you don't have to do anything except stay open. Your guides are going to come through and show you what it is that you should be focusing on in this moment in time. Interesting. Okay, so we have 8 of Swords coming forth. Often, I talk about this being a prison of thought, but in this one, it's just saying that you can't see it yet, but it's happening. So we have a chrysalis, fancy word for basically a caterpillar that is almost ready to emerge as a butterfly. It goes into this soupy stage where it rearranges everything and develops into something new. This is the protection that it creates before it's ready to come out of its shell and shine like the star that it is. The next step is your own. As I said here with this particular version of the Six of Swords, I don't know why you're waiting. That's something that you're going to have to look into, but it doesn't feel like you need to wait any longer. Confidence and clarity will help you decide how to break through the chrysalis. Just because it isn't crystal clear and it isn't in the environment doesn't mean that it can't happen. Just because you haven't seen it happen in your family or around you doesn't mean that it isn't possible. So you're being asked to use your imagination, and this will help you open your wings, okay? Moving from what you need to know to what you want to know. Final question. This can be anything that you still want some clarity on. Okay, fantastic. So in this particular illustration, we have 6 of Cups, which is friendship and love. And I'm going to pull the traditional one while we're talking, but I feel like you're poised to get your flowers. This is like the most positive reading that I've done this entire month. And I think that for many of you, it's about feeling like you are ready and deserving of receiving your flowers. Because it might have been a minute or two. This is a card that is connected to childhood. And sometimes we don't get a chance to play or have fun or get a gold star when we're an adult. We just focus on all the problems, all the concerns. Be a little bit more playful. Make time for people in your life that connect with you in this joyful, playful, optimistic way. And know that in this moment, you are ready to receive. I hope you are. What's interesting here, and this kind of goes into not being able to see everything above the surface. So there's just as much going on within as there is externally. You've done the work to receive what you are about to receive. Don't second guess yourself. If you asked a yes or no, it's a yes. And in particular, this is a card connected with love, community, joy, and if you've got your flowers already, you could be helping other people and saying, job well done. But I see the focus on community building and outreach and Aries, this is a great month ahead. For those of you that watched me for a long time, you know that I don't hype it up unless I see it, and I'll say whatever I see. But when you look at the cards, they're pretty good. Just be honest with yourself and others. Take action. Break free of this chrysalis, and you've pretty much done this work. But I feel like that's really what's missing, is the next step. So hopefully you have the faith, the courage, and the vision to take that next step. Let me know how it's all working out for you. Leave some comments and updates below. I read everything, and I love to see what's going on with you. Likewise, if you found this helpful in any way, shape, or form, hit the subscribe button, like the video, and then you can also opt into all notifications so you don't miss out on any sort of news and information. Likewise, you can give me a follow on other social media platforms where Nicholas Ashbaugh is the username. On Blue Sky, it's my website, nicholasashbaugh.com, also a place that you can get more information about me. And if you'd like to help support this and level it up a little bit more, I couldn't do this without your support. Increasingly so, as there's more people doing the same thing. So subscribing and giving a sticker or becoming a member, these things help the channel stay healthy and allow me to be here each and every day, because I really am here every single day with a daily read, and then every month and weekend for those monthly readings and live streams. So thank you for your help. And that's everything, okay? Take care of yourselves and do something amazing this month. It's a time for expansion, and you deserve that, okay? Much love and light. I'll see you soon.